Welcome around to another Division 2 video. Today we continue playing Every Division series with a Vyborg. So we're going to go back to our Soviet division. And this one really is C- tier. So is it a good one? No, as we said, C- tier. My thoughts on that are basically, well, it has some decent tools. It has actually some of the really good Soviet tools. The problem is just it doesn't have depth in some crucial tabs. Most notably the infantry tab, which, can be okay if there are basically two conditions fulfilled. If either it is specialized in one, actually three. If it's specialized enough in one area, which this division isn't, if the division is a 2K division, which this division isn't, or if you at least can compensate with the support and recon tab, which this division can't. So at the end of the day, this means this division just sucks. Because of that, you just don't have the depth in the infantry tab, and the infantry itself is nothing phenomenal. Like, you have some special units there with the Sturmoviki and Sturmoviki Rocks. These are good, but only one card of double machine gun is not that good. Notable things here, or key things here about the build. Of course, you go Maverick because we don't have the depth. I think you could also do Vanguard probably. We take an IS-2 in B phase because we're not going to take it in A phase anyway. In my opinion, whenever you want to take IS-2s, you want to take them in B phase at the earliest, because even if you're Vanguard, it's a massive investment for A phase. That's one notable thing. I'm investing quite a bit into Seekers in B phase because it's the one thing that this division actually can really do. And what else? I think that's about the most notable things. Let's go into a little bit more detail. So in the Recon tab, I'm still a little bit on the fence about this one. Should we take the BA-10 because it's really useful? Should we take the motorized Svedka because we need some recon, and now we get a 50 cal transport for it, which is useful. And personally, I am don't like using the Svedka for actual recon, because these are my bazooka units. So even though they are a recon unit, I can use them if necessary. I really don't like doing it, so some extra recon is nice. We do have a spotter in the artillery tab, so I don't necessarily need to take it, but more recon is definitely nice. Going over to the infantry tab, this is the real problematic tab. Yeah, this is the only double machine gun unit that we have. Take an A because we need to take an A. And then I take these guys. The only other option would be to take the Sturmoviki and kind of treat this hybrid unit, which with only one DT machine gun, it is not really. It's a little bit, but not really. And, spamming cheap stuff around can kind of work. This, if you look at the tank tab, is also part of our strategy in the tank tab anyway, so it's not that bad. If you do that in infantry tab as well, I actually don't dislike these. I think there is a use for disheartened unit in combination with non-disheartened ones, at least if they're cheap. Then we take the AFTO. We get 6 versus 4 here. Double would give us 4, which is not something that's generally like doing. And then in B phase, we just get Strelki because there's no other option. Sturmoviki Rocks because why would we pass on them? And then I decided to take Sturmoviki as well because then we get a little bit of the hybridness, and again, we do have a little bit of Seeker strength at least. Tank tab. So there's not that many choices that we can make here. In general, this is another division that you can build in many ways, in my opinion. Most notable, I think we should take an A phase so that we have some 2K and something with an actual punch. In B phase, we do have the IS-2. I would actually much rather have more of these guys, but 2, 4, potato. We need an A anyway, so it's not really debatable. I decided to take the T-3476 in A phase, even though it is great for spamming around in B phase, because then we can take the K1S, which has a little bit more survivability, especially considering that this is the low armor T-34 variant. So I'm actually much more in favor of taking this in A phase and this in B, because in A phase you also have the K1S Komrotti, which is also a little bit up armored, but you get the Churchill, which is fantastic. So it's basically, this thing has the same issue for your opponent, or poses the same issue for your opponent as the Valentine, just with the fact that it has a little bit more armor. That's about it. And then the T-26, which is nice and spammable as well. Of course, you take the IS-2 Komrotti over the regular one. There's no reason ever to take the regular one, because the vet curve is actually worse for whatever reason, and leadership is nice to have. Support tab has not much in here, so there's not much that we can take. I would love to take another Maxim card in B phase if we had one to kind of help out our infantry, but we don't even have one, so there's that. Flame at this thing, you could definitely decide not to take it. You know, it's a 2-point slot, so we could take something else instead. But 15 points for this is actually pretty decent because, you know, like an IG, well, an IG is a bad example because it has heat, but, you know, like this equivalent, there's also a German one which doesn't have, maybe it's a captured one of these, I don't know. There's also German infantry gun that doesn't have it, or machine guns or anything like that. They can't really deal with this, so it's actually useful. Second flame card will not be bad. I know we don't take a commander because I don't even have an infantry leader and I don't have that many leaders in general. A D-tab, we take what we can. This is just so good and it really helps against light armor. Considering that, you know, all our armor is slow, of course, or not, at least not super fast. This is good to stop some light armor ahead of time. This thing is so good at trading up, we need to take it. And then, yeah, the thing should be self-explanatory. If anything, I will probably take the fast Nikko to PTRS for a little bit of an opener rush instead of this. But the problem is the fast button is limited damage, so we won't kill a tank with it. But, you know, for an opener, much like the Saperi PPSH, which we don't even have here, and that we couldn't take because of the room, the space, you can use it that way, basically. AA tab, really limited. I actually like the 25 mils, but availability curve kind of sucks. We also only get 2 at double that. If you get 3, I would definitely consider it, because they're also super cheap. But this way, nope. Artillery tab, I take these guys for some more recon and to provide radio for the SS-76, because with radio this thing's actually decent. Then we take the Andrusha. There's no need for an off-map. We are just going to use the Andrusha. I also don't want to take another one because they are expensive and they need so much ammo. So we're just going to rely on this not dying rather than buying another one. And then in the air tab, simple, recon, bomber. The reason why I don't take anything else is also relatively simple. First of all, I don't really want to take anything out here. But also, if we take a close look at it, what we could realistically take is a fighter with the LA7. But yeah, it has medium resilience, 220 mils, and it is fast. So if you really want a fighter, this is one unit that you could take. Wouldn't be wrong for sure. This thing, you really want to find a bomber, you could also take it. But the P2 is just so good that I would not take this over that. Has bad resilience too. It is fast though, decent bomb loadout, so it's not bad. 220 mils again can actually shoot down some planes, so that's not bad either. The napalm bomb IL-2, I don't know how good that is. I don't think it's super good. And then we have the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes we just don't take because they're way too slow. Like if you want to have a fighter, this has a great loadout, medium resilience, but 430 kilometers an hour. Like the P2 is faster than that. And you know, I'm someone who says that your fighter doesn't necessarily need to be a bomber catcher. You can also have a fighter that is not a bomber catcher. That can still be reasonable. But this is a bit too slow, even for a non-bomber catcher fighter. Same issue for the fighter bomber, really. It is just too slow. I mean, this thing is faster and it drops, like it is, it has a high altitude, so it's less affected by will drop the bombs from high above. It literally has a better bomb loadout. I mean, yeah, it's 15 points more, but like, that's actually a small price to pay, I would say. It's just no point in taking it. This thing's even worse. Like, this is super slow. The bomb loadout is great, but everything else just sucks. And yeah, so we take one in A phase and another card of these in B phase. A reason why I just actually would have the same availability, but I mean, this one has better bombs, so we take this one. So the reason why I single bet it, because obviously for a bomber it's not matter that much, is because I don't want to overinvest into A, and this is a good way of preventing me from doing it. And a little bit more agility means a little bit less affected by A, so it doesn't actually hurt. It's not a huge benefit, though. So don't do it because I think that the bomber is going to be much better. It's just that because I think, like, if I buy all 3 of those, that should do the trick. If not, we're probably going to have a bigger problem than this. And with that, I think we're just going to hop into the queue and see how we can do. Okay, that was super fast. And we are on a trash map. With a bad matchup for us. It's another Soviet division, but it's just a straight up better one. So I don't really like this. Not at all, actually. because that means our churches are not really going to be an advantage. But so one thing that we're going to do is we're going to try and grab this. I can kind of push across this road. It's not something that you can do. It's not something that's that you can like continue to do later on. It's really just something to start, because later on there will be something up here and trying to stop that. I'm kind of counting on him not having that there and me being able to get in there at the start, which means that we can also get a maxim up there, which can help out against future pushes, or at least I hope so. We do have the church, which is where we're going to place one of our artillery observers. The problem is, it's a grindy map. It's going to be a bit of a problem. On the flip side, though, the Andrusha should be really useful here, as it is a heavy hitter and can punch a lot of areas. I had this discussion with Koenig a long time ago when I first started this about which side of the map is better, and he is of the opinion that this is better, but really I do think we're on the bad side here. I truly do believe. But I also still don't know if this is faster somehow, or this. I think this is still the fastest one. We need to get into position up here in case he wants to push this. Also need to have something here. Make sure that he can't just walk in there. And one of our expensive Strelky DPs needs to be wasted like that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But it needs to be done. And one thing that we can do is put something up here. This is usually where support guns are super good. But because this division is super good, we don't have any of them. So is this 3 we'll have to do? It's not a bad unit. So this is, I think, where we can actually use a regular Recon unit. Other big problem is we're going to go up against Shermans here. It's not exactly the best matchup, especially with these guys. But this is why we have the T-30-45, and we do have the KV-1 leader. Because these are going to be hard to pen. For the Sherman. KV-1S, it's not going to be as hard, but the T-34, that one's going to be tough not to crack. I'm kind of counting on it doing its job there, of just being very annoying. We're going to bring in some Churchills as well. These are actually pretty dangerous for the Shermans as well, because I mean, look at the pen, look at the armor. So Churchill should, generally speaking, be able to win out against a Sherman. It just can't do infantry support. It's really the only downside to it. It's slow. That too. That's actually a big downside, but you know what I mean. Good. Now, we are probably gonna deploy. So I don't think we need the Automachiki for much here at the start. They're really mostly going to be in the town, which is where we can put them into defensive positions where they just can hold. One in here, for example, is a really good position, and here is also a very good position. After is a really good for defensive defensive positions in the town, because so actually hold on. And then it has to go across here, which is actually dangerous. So I would rather have this one over here. Yeah, because then it doesn't need to cross this road. It might get sniped otherwise. A little bit afraid of that. So, but yeah, as I was going to say, so these CQC units, especially after those, really good for defensive purposes, because your opponent will have to walk into their range if you put them in the right spot. It's not the best, but because you can technically come from there. But I just don't see any better position here. Yeah, this one maybe. And then I can do some work from there. So this is why I really like them, actually. Actually, you know what? As we're going to do that deployment over there, we can also see if we maybe manage to get... Where did I put them now? Over here. You can actually see if we can also get into this flag. Again, it's also not meant to be like a permanent kind of thing, but it might threaten him a little bit over here to relieve pressure from here, which might allow me to grab a flag or two over here. It's a mirror income, so we don't need to have a great ticket advantage at any point in time. Just need to make sure that we have something. Then we should actually get some infantry too. And I would love to... Okay, so maybe we went a little bit overkill here. This we can remove. We don't necessarily need it. And then we have the range left as well. And now we do have the one KV1 should do the job, I think. Because one thing that I do want to do is get AA right from the start. It's so easy on this map because like you really have to focus it in this one area. And it's really stupid not to take it, in my opinion. Because again, it's so easy to predict that you're gonna need it there. We're gonna spam some of these guys out. Actually, we can bring the... just forgot, we could bring... I'm kind of relying on my tank to do a little bit of the work now. But we could bring another one of these. To deal with Shermans until the... until the Churchills arrive. And I think that should do the trick. Maybe we can have like the last Churchill that's actually gonna go over there anyway. Have over here. I think that's gonna be good. Yep. Ready. You are. Now let's just wait and see. I really do like to have the... Oh, he's ready. Okay. Good luck, have fun. And let's bring the Recon blade. Actually, I think that's a bad idea. Or it was a bad idea. Because, like, what's it going to tell me? Oh, there's things coming in the center. Oh, you need to be careful. So it's probably relatively pointless. Although you can still let me know if there's a push over here that might need to react to. So this is the one advantage that this side has. You can definitely fix, like a push over here can fix easily. But then again, you can really easily fix a push over here as well. And this one, it's just so hard to defend, so... Okay, so that's the Valentine's. Squawk guns. It's not pushing over here from what I can tell. I also don't see any... AA. Yeah, I went a little bit too deep in there. Might be able to get behind that if it doesn't pay attention. If not, we're just going to fall back behind the AA net that we have anyway. I just carry a douche that's getting stopped by it. Okay. So very defensive deployment over there. Actually, that wasn't really worth it. I mean, now he has AA. Is it going to shoot it down? I don't hope so. I don't think so. Nope. Got out. Okay, we can move that one. No, we can't really move that one forward, but we might be able to move these guys forward. Yeah, I should have sent an actual tank in there, I guess. And then some more stuff over there. And I guess we're going to bring an AT gun up here now as well. Just to make sure that you can't easily push. If it's only the 45mm at this range, you can't really do much. So, don't mind taking that fight. So we got in over there. We're going to get in over here. He probably has some flamers or something like that as well in here. So, that's the problem with this push. You probably need to go like super heavy there. Actually, I'm going to bring one of these in then as well. Just to help out. There's a very defensive, which could potentially be a problem for him. Get this as well, get an early 15-9, which I wouldn't mind getting. It's T-34s in there mostly. Well, he has flamers there, so he has reacted to it. Well, I guess it's time to get some artillery going. Let's bring them over here. We can actually do... Actually, no, it's very useful over here. 59 for just a moment. As long as this thing can hold a little bit, I am very happy. I can't really push too deep because of the cis-2s over there, so that's a little bit annoying. But then again, you know, I got the flag. Again, mirror income. Traits matter even, like, traits matter a lot. Traits matter a lot anyway, but even more right here. So, slowly forward and see what we can get into. Good diet here. Flamer. To what? What did you find? What is sitting there? Oh, Tanko. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter. It was worth it. Not a 37. There's two 37 mils over there. Let's see if we can maybe move that. I think it's time to get these out. Help our infantry push over there. No, don't want them to surrender. Alright. Yeah, I think if he's super defense, we're just gonna bring artillery. I mean, it's gonna work nicely for us, I think. He's so concentrated there. Most of it is in radio range too. Not all of it, but a lot of it. More than happy to take that fight, I think. Okay, we're gonna bring more AA then. Since this is what he's... we're determined on using. Oh no, he should have turned earlier. Oopsie doopsie. Yeah, now of course he got penned. This is in APCR range. I want to fall back on that. And the faster fire rate is taking a win there. Nice. Actually, we should probably go this way. Maybe then we actually get a flag over there. Alright, so... start opening up on that one. We're going to bring another spotter here a little bit closer. Oh, it's getting shot up by this. This doesn't really matter that much. Right, gonna get that killed over there. Valentine coming in. Camaraderie, I think that's not the up-armored one, is it? We're gonna get more Churchills, because they're gonna arrive in like 2 years anyway, only. Like at the earliest, so... I think it should miss now with how stressed out it is. No, of course not. I'm trying to move to this, yeah. Not really. Don't think so. Oh, so there's something else in there. Okay. Oh, that's actually not a good engagement. I guess we're going to commit now. He doesn't have good artillery, so in the long run I think I'm a little bit better off because of that right here. Is this within radio range? No, it is not. Next up, we're gonna go for the artillery. This range is still not super good. Should probably get some Rozvetkas in. Defensive position. Nope. Get them in defensive positions. It's going to be alright. Churchill should be able to do the trick here. And this has a lower pen since it's the Comrotti version. There we go. And this one also has HE, so we should be able to finish off that says over there. This one is running out of HE. Problem is these guys eat for ammo super fast. You can use the 2 that you have on this as well. And now we're going to bring this because nothing that can actually pen this up close. So even though this is not meant for this, these guys can actually be used as a long range weapon. Not kidding. These ones, as I've had to realize in a recent game, yep, were actually pretty good. Didn't know that. And I'm a little bit annoyed by the fact that despite my AA, got the loads off, but that's just what it is. Can't win them all. We're gonna put one here, one here. Now we're just gonna bomb this. We can also like keep this back here. That can support a little bit, and that's gonna bring the SU-76s back online. And get another Russian as well. Oh no, it's back in there. This one should be stopped, I think. Right, let's keep up the pressure. Again, this thing, as long as we're not going to get too close, probably even then, as long as we're not going to get too close in SIS-2, should be fine. Oh, they spotted my Rozvetka. Not good. I'm gonna finish off that mortar. I'm really annoyed by that. This I don't like. Well, it's not really pushing there. Just the extension of everything. And now we're gonna get this thing back online. Can't really push through here with the armor that I do have. Can re-grab this, but that's about all he can do. I can bring in the Sturmoviki. This should be doing a good job there. But again, if he bunches up too much, I will just wipe him out with this. I want to have it ready now. I know it's not perfect tool there just yet. But okay, we can do some surrendering over here. Right, let's get back over there. just died. Maxim, okay. Can live with that. This is walking into me. Nope. Has stopped. They need to be smart about those strikes because we don't have an endless amount of them. Oh, he's starting to counter battery this, and he hit the ammo, of course he did. Despite, you know, this thing being shit at range. So we're gonna have to play this carefully. If it brings more of them in there, I'm gonna Andrusha it. Otherwise, this is just not a good artillery piece. I'm surprised I took it. This right here might make him panic a bit, so we're gonna go for a strike over there. I think we can just go for flags instead of anything else here. Might not even need to. This thing here is also... Oh, he has a 50 million there, doesn't he? This is so annoying. This thing is really good, actually. Ooh, and we're gonna get that. Nope. Yes. We do. Alright. Let's get some air spam going. It's just gonna target that actually. We're gonna bomb whatever's there. You can go after this thing that is now in our range. The next Andrusha strike is gonna wipe out these guys. I'm gonna know better now. Actually much better. Where's the AA piece? Over here. Good. Might lose that now, actually. Would love that. Yep, he lost it. Good. It's very good. What's that? We supplied this. Oh, there's a lot, like a big infantry blob over there. Let's hit that. We're gonna have to move you again, don't we? And then you move over here. And you can also move over here. This is so annoying, like it's so spammy. We can actually try and see if we can make a breakthrough over there. Support this by like NRT-34. Might be able to push this flag. Just need to open up a new front to keep him busy, basically. That's all I'm trying to do here. This thing is potentially dangerous, so I think that was a bad investment, but you know. And then we, I guess, move here, then we do the same thing back to the other direction. Let's fully load this. So Zvetkas are spotted, which I am a big fan of. Oh! Oh no, he tried to strike again. He tried to go for a double strike and he got focused by the... Oh, that's bad. That's bad. I forgot that this thing could strike more than once. That's so annoying because, you know, I had queued up the move order. I just didn't pay attention to it. It's actually a really big loss. Because this thing would have done the work here. And now it doesn't do anything. Oh, I actually spot it, but I think it's going to get away. Yes, it does. Killing the Recon there, though, that's fine. Yeah, this thing would have been absolutely crucial for me. This is actually a really bad loss. That one's definitely going to be felt. That's a fine ally I'm happy to take with my Churchill. Not so much with this guy, though. Floating points like crazy. Yeah, I need to move. Now. The American follow. This is a good fight. I'm happy to take that one. Problem is we're now in a grind fight, which is definitely not what this division is supposed to be in. Hooray! Right, so this is really not the division that wants to be playing the grind game. The problem is we have to. I just don't really have another option. Can I actually try to build up some pressure like this? It's probably a bit of an overinvestment here. Oh, and what killed my eyes too? Oh, did the Valentine get a side shot on it? That would be a really bad play. Okay, time maybe to get these two in there. This is just not fun. And let's evac right afterwards. So my main concern is basically getting flags now. I just need to win somehow. So far, I've not been very convinced of his plays, but you know, eventually I'm gonna run out, and that's gonna it's gonna be when I'm gonna have real big problems. Also, eventually I'm gonna run out of Churchill. He's probably not gonna run out of Valentine's that fast. And he has tons of 50 mils over there, which only killed another artillery piece of mine. It's just so hard to target all these guys there. So many of them. Yeah, it's building so much artillery and I just don't have a lot of it, so it's a bit of a problem there. Good, we got that flag though. Can we get out there though? That's a big question. That's one spot that you cannot really access super well. This is one that we're fine with taking. Shoot at whatever you can find back here, really. Should lose that now. Oh, that damned Valentine is still there. I think we're just gonna buy another one of... Valentine we should be able to take out with this. Forgot that this thing is still there. I wanted to take out this. But yeah, another A piece dead. Right, you can move again. I don't want to stick around for too long. This is really hard on the counter battery. Alright, spare move these guys in there. He has tons of mortars though, it's a bit of a problem, especially 50 mils. These guys just shredding everything. There's not much that I can do either. That's a bit of a problem there. Alright, can you win that, please? This thing is massive. Jesus. Need to keep up the pressure, though. Just gonna spam things now. It's gonna move again. Oh, I forgot. Yes, these guys too. Got a pen though. Just gonna have to sit it through here now. That's one of these damned mortars. Gonna kill that. We're gonna get ready for another push. As soon as we got this, these should be back operational. And then we can go for some shenanigans over there. Good, got the Valentine killed. Oh. And then we can go for a little bombing run over here. Pretty target-rich environment, so... I'll move again. This is also indirect fire, so we can use that if needed. Lost another plane, it's good for me. Right, let's kill that. Let's get, we can definitely move one of these in here. And take care of that. Let's just move out. No point in sticking around there. Right, got another flag back. Not for long maybe, but you know, doesn't look like there's a ton of AA left. Basically this thing right here, we can take care of. But no, we can also bring an AT gun over here now. Just need to make sure that we can... I picked about 2 months ago. Yeah, understandable. But I mean... he still got a good value out of it. But okay, I traded him heavily. Not a bad player though. It's okay. Let's look at the chronology. I mean... Now, let's do this first, and then we talk about the division as always. I think I got a little bit quiet, so I might need to revise the footage and maybe record another one. It's just not that fun for you guys if I'm just silent, I feel like. But let's get to it. So, at the start, he got some value. I got some value. So going back and forth there. This thing was definitely not well used. The Drusha actually killed a bit there. Pretty nice. Until he got killed. Yeah, this thing, I didn't think about the, 2 volleys kind of thing. So I queued up the move order and I just screwed it up. Yeah, I think this is where his push really started, but I managed to hold it. The problem is in the town, pushing the town is always a pain. You need either good artillery or air to clear it out, otherwise it's going to be absolutely painful. So, what have we learned about it? I mean, this is not the map for this different. We kind of felt that, you definitely noticed that. I mean, the Drusha is helpful, but like a pure town map is not where you want to be in with this division, because that is going to be super grindy. And this division is just not made for the grind. I think had he managed to hold on, or had he not surrendered, I think he would have won that just by attrition. Vyborg just doesn't have the depth. And you've seen me. I was about to call in an infantry, and I was like, nah, maybe not unless I really need to, because I'm going to run out. So that was something I was really worried about, and it was definitely noticeable. So just that. The other thing, of course, is it's just I really wish I had more Air Force, but I don't think this is the way to go for this division. You have to go with good trades. Oh yeah, that's of course the other thing, right? He had the Valentines and such, which of course weren't super good for this matchup, because you kind of rely on your Churchills to actually provide you value. And I think they did, but it was not as massive as I'd hoped, of course, with another matchup. But yeah, I think we've kind of seen a concept at play here. You have a lot of cheap stuff, you kind of spam it around, you have some cost-efficient units. And then they try to back it up with an IS-2, which in my opinion is not the worst idea. Even a close-range IS-2, if there's nothing that can really kill that. But I just screwed it up. I think it got side-shotted, or it got killed by all those mortars that were there. Can actually check. It was relatively early on, actually. Disappointed. Yeah, the Valentines. I probably just got 2 side shots and they both penned as this thing was turning. Because so if you bring it up close, you definitely need to micro it properly, which I did not. Kind of thought where I put it should be relatively safe. I didn't really think about Valentine being able to get 2 side shots, because I went in from the side and not moved around and came back in frontally. That would have been the correct call, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Churchill did good work. After, also good work. Churchill, yeah. I mean, the tools that you expect to be good did really well. This thing is special, like SU-76 are so good if you have radio. So they fire fast, they're decently accurate. They're not laser accurate, but they're okay enough. Fires fast, and do a good amount of damage. And they're mobile, you can just move them. You could, technically. I lost another one of those, but we're not going to talk about that. This thing is Churchill actually an absolute hero. I didn't even notice half of that. This thing pretty decent as well. My bombers, of course, yeah. I think that was not a big thing here. Though I have to say, these Cobras, the rocket ones, are really, really good, actually. I've played against Moorbrook the other day in a tournament where he played this division as well. And I didn't know that that the rocket Cobra was so good. Yeah, I lost a lot of armor unnecessarily to the 45mm for sure. Valentine, of course, that one was rough. That was really rough. This thing is absolutely broken. I really didn't realize that for so long, but one-shotting tanks, wow. Yeah, just got a lot of stuff there surrendered. It's rough. It do be rough. Yeah, these perform way better than they should have, really. But I can't complain, I still won. So, but I mean, these guys are really problematic, actually. I wouldn't take them if I was him, but, I'll take the F-22, they at least have radio. I think you get them in that division too, I don't know. So yeah, Gavardia, nothing out of the ordinary there, pretty much what we also observed. So, I think let's just go back to the deck and talk about it real quick. So it's time to talk about the division as a whole, my impression of it, and the deck now. And yeah, what should I say? The opinion hasn't really changed. I think the game showed the strengths and weaknesses of this division quite nicely. It is really not made for a grind. It can actually fight in towns, but of course against the town fight division that the Soviets have, which is third mechanized. It was a bit of a tough one, of course. So that's not a fair comparison for this division. We got a bit unlucky there, but still, I think it showcased it quite nicely with the Churchills. It can actually fight. These can help out where needed, and the IS-2 could, if you don't get side-shotted, actually be a brick wall for your opponent up close as well in a lot of matchups. And so IS-2s can really be used up close if you micro them correctly. In matchups where opponent can't deal with it, so it's not something that was actually a mistake per se. It was not micro, that was the mistake. So that's kind of where this division sits in terms of strength, right? Town fighting is okay. Ideally something with town and secrecy as well, where you can use these guys. But as we've also seen, anything that is grindy is really not good. Anything where this thing can't be, where the tanks, because the tank type is actually okay in my opinion. Every fight where the tank type can't carry you because you can't block your opponent. It can't be trading up, or these guys can't trade up, which is the strength that these kind of tanks have, or tank hunters. Every fight that this is the case, it really sucks. Now, as soon as you're going to get into a grind, it's a problem. And of course, as we've also seen, not having a lot of infantry, and the infantry being bad quality too, is really a big issue. So overall, this division is really just, again, because of the things we talked about, it's really just not good. And I think the C- here is very well deserved. Had this some 2k HE, it would actually be better, because then you can also play it on a bit more maps. And had one or two more infantry tabs, and maybe, slots cost of one, and another good infantry unit, of course, and slot cost of just a few slots a little bit reduced, so that you might be able to take things like a fighter or a fighter bomber instead of these, or maybe another underuse short, or something more support tab. It would actually be much better too. Now, about the build itself, I wouldn't really change anything, actually. The only thing that I would do is maybe this, because while in my opinion it's dangerous to overcommit an air force in this game, like right here, this is like you spam artillery and you spam air. My artillery got killed because I didn't pay attention, and then the only thing I had left is air. So for these kind of games, it's maybe better to have the option available to you. Just need to show a little bit of restraint otherwise, and not overcommit on your air force, which is the reason why I vetted them in the first place. But that's basically the only thing there. Again, you could take these guys if you really wanted to, but I think the P2 is better, especially in this matchup we saw, right? You could actually still get in and do some work. These ones would not. They might even die, which the P2 did not. So because of that, I think that's actually okay. And again, everything else, I would leave it as it is, because it kind of worked. And I mean, most importantly, you just can't make that many changes, right? The only change here that you could make is this. Nothing to change here. Nothing to change here. Nothing to change here. Nothing to change here unless you really want to take this. Nothing to change here. This is not better than a 37mm and it's going to get too expensive. Nothing to change here unless you really want to off-map. Nothing to change here, in my opinion, except for maybe a fighter if you really want to. So there's just not that many options. And I think the whole package as it is works well for what the division can do. And that is it. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day and see you next time. And if you have any wishes for the next one, please let me know in the comment. It needs to be a C- division on König Series that we haven't done yet. And it can't be Corporal, because that one's I'm going to save for last.